live, man. We back, man, for the nighttime live. And guess what? Slight improvements. We got a light.
What's up, YouTube? We back. We back. We back. We back.
All right, G. Let's get into it, man. The topic of the day is the mental health industry corrupt? We're going to go back into Arisen Islam, part 2.
Issues.
Now.
Hold on, Sean. I gotta, before we get into that, the Rizza Islam, I want to say thank y'all for y'all continued support. We appreciate y'all, man. Y'all been rocking with us tough over this past couple weeks. And from the bottom,
Yeah, boy.
you feel me? So from the bottom of me and S.E.T's heart, man, we really appreciate how tough y'all been rocking with us, man. Continue to show support, as I always say, and we will show it back by bringing y'all exciting, original, fresh content.
Aw, but
come on, man. It's the followers. I love y'all. I love the fans. We love y'all. We love y'all. All right, say take it off.
All right, man. We appreciate y'all once again, man. Let's get into this mental health.
Your time, whether if you're white or black, if you are of the religious faith, if you are a part of the conscious community, if you are someone who
Or a non-human biologic.
is simply political and you just want to hear what this brother is talking about, or if you are an agent trying to gather data, information, or
Hey, tune into our last live where we covered aliens.
Yeah. For those of y'all who ain't seen that.
Is what happened to Bronny and where the UFOs?
Yes, sir.
Tune in.
Spacey kind of
is. If you have problems that are going on, if you feel like, the world,
to get into it.
insane asylums, we went into eugenics, we went into
Oh yeah, fuck this bitch.
their motive. What was the goal? And what,
One of the main
pray tell, were the solutions and the outcomes? This is why we're going into this. So part
Yeah, the one who started playing Parenthood.
She Aryan?
Boy, I don't even know the bitch. Bro, here's the thing. You know what the crazy thing is? Motherfucker who believe in that Aryan shit ain't never blonde hair, blue eyes though. Okay. Not even the Aryans are that pressed about themselves. It ain't this been Martyr Strijan. Look here, G. The most successful educational approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal. We do not want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. And the minister is the man who can straighten out the idea if it ever occurs to any of their rebellious members. Yeah, fuck that bitch.
Okay.
standings as to why they say normally crazy old white men, normally, all right, when it comes to the field of mental health, normally crazy old white men who were trying to convince the world that everyone else was crazy except for them. Interesting. This section.
Yo, that is white people, though. They be going around doing the most reckless shit and then just be like, man, bro, that was y'all problem. Like what you mean? we brought y'all salvation. Like, nigga, we was good before you got here, nigga. We brought y'all Jesus.
Like, nigga, we brought y'all over here. We gave y'all religion. We taught y'all how to read. Come on, man. Y'all really hate us? Y'all really hate us?
Like, man.
And we're going to delve into, I would say, somewhat more of the movie type of settings, somewhat, you know, things that we've only seen in cinema, where we thought it was just a movie, not realizing that many of these movies are based off of these things that people were doing in real life in history. So let us go ahead and delve right into this part here. Before I say that, again, seek therapy, not drugs. Seek therapy, not drugs. Don't cover up the problem, address the problem.
Oh, God. Don't do drugs, kids.
Please don't.
And, you know, we have mostly viewers of about what our age, right there, around that 24, 35 area. So, you know, if y'all ever going through it, you know.
Only when and where legal.
Yeah, on God. And if you really have a drug problem, please check yourself into a
rehabilitation clinic.
On God. And then after that,
go into your family history, learn about yourself. Look at the unresolved issues that you may have when it comes to fatherly love, motherly love, or the lack thereof, either or. look at what's happening, and then look at different solutions and methods to resolve these problems so that the stress can come up off you. You can live a better and healthier life. You don't feel like taking yourself out, taking others out. Don't let life get you down. Seek out people who you can trust, who you can talk to, and that way we can move.
Solid advice by RZA here. We're gonna skip forward just a tad.
Hold on, D. You don't
Where
even
we
know
going?
the video. I got you, G. I got you.
Go ahead.
Shock wards. Please make sure you are looking at every single fact. And if you don't, 50 years came up with some crazy so-called solution. They called it a breakthrough in science. This method doesn't work anymore. It was horrible. We don't really want to admit it. We kind of damaged a whole lot of people, but hey, we got a new method now. This method works. Don't worry about that in the past. It was just trial and error. Forget it. Let's move on.
Like with the vaccines.
Man,
Think about it 1 second here.
my bad.
He believed he can use a drug called
Sorry about that.
schizophrenia. Now, schizophrenia, of course, where people believe you have multiple personalities. The average person walking planet Earth right now, everybody, according to the field of psychiatry, according to the field of mental health, there is not one human being walking the planet Earth who is sane. And I'm not saying you as a psychiatrist, you as a therapist, you as a psychologist are saying this. I'm saying the field that you have been studying in or practicing in for years, or if you're new to the area of study, the history, the foundation, the people who are the founding fathers of this thing, so to speak, not from the original understanding of how the mind works, but how they took it over and made it seem as though they invented it. They were saying this. The culture that is underneath it is what has been saying it. And they're quite wrong. Okay. But please make sure you know the history of the field. Because this man by the name of, again, Dr. Ladislaus von Meduna, using metrazole, this went all throughout the United States and all throughout the world as...
Here's what's funny. So you tell me y'all niggas, this nigga used metrazole. It didn't work. And then he kind of was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's see if it works on other people. Yeah, these niggas on that evil shit, bro. I'm telling you. It's just mad scientist shit.
Yes.
as well, believing that schizophrenia, having multiple personalities, can be driven out of the body. Remember, a personality is not physical. This is another reason why it's kind of sad. They go off of chemicals in the body and try to equate that with emotions. Emotionalism is not a physical. We do get that, right? Emotionalism and emotions and personality is not physical. Then you can go into the brain. You can say, well, reason there are chemical connections within the brain that help to add to or remove from personality traits. No doubt at all.
Some of the part was he pretty much saying that niggas was fucking with something that they had no idea, like they didn't even know how to conceptualize it properly. It's like they was over here thinking that you could mess with the chemicals in the brain and it would cure schizophrenia, and all it did was either make them a vegetable or make it 10 times worse.
Jeez.
Yeah, bro.
Sounds like MK Ultra.
Oh, God.
I digress too far into that, but I wanted us to look at the fact that they believe that you could drive this out by chemically shocking a person with a drug called metrazole. So making a person have epilepsy, making a person have seizures will drive this out because this is a mental illness.
So inducing a seizure, they thought was going to cure your schizophrenia. Yep. And you know what happens after seizure? Most of the time, your ass is out there drooling, brain dead, and a motherfucker. Yeah. And you know, sometimes, some cases, they call it a cure. Wow, shit.
Jeez. What they said. Okay, let's continue. Interestingly enough, they said a person who has schizophrenia, a seizure or epilepsy, and schizophrenia cannot exist within the same brain. So if we're seeing a person's body shaking, that means there's no more schizophrenia.
I'm fucking dead.
Damn.
He said, "Hey, bro, it can't only be one. It can't be two. G, you can't be schizophrenic and epileptic."
They using?
Boy, I don't even know.
God damn.
They was so dead. They like, all right, bro, look, if we give him epilepsy, he can't be schizophrenic, right? Like, ain't no way,
like,
right?
If he break his pinky, at least he won't be thinking about his broken leg.
And now he has
emotional damage.
More than that, you motherfuckers is
boy
fucked.
It's a
literally
like boy.
I know this sounds crazy because it is, and this is the actual history of how they taught. Moving forward from Dr. Ladislaus von Meduna, interestingly enough, they would normally around 40 to 45 patients could be shocked every morning by one single psychiatrist using the drug Metrazol. These are the numbers that they would normally have. By the year 1939, Metrazol was used in over 70% of hospitals in America. And it took storm all throughout the world and other countries. They made lots of money by doing this because be mindful, sitting with a person in therapy, being a psychologist or a therapist, really sitting and talking with a person, you know, like getting to know the person, you know, actually learning about the history, you know, asking them questions about their childhood, how they were raised, what are some traumatic circumstances that they experienced, you know, that caused them to be where they are right now. You know, an actual person who cares about who you are, where your mind is, so that they can address the cause, which will lead to the effect in its existence, and therefore it will resolve because you address the cause of the problem. That takes more time, right? That takes more than 15.
Yeah, them niggas is lazy as hell. It's like, hey, bro, fuck these 2-hour sessions, dog.
They said, look, we gonna shock your ass and then see what happens.
Oh God, my nigga.
Write down the recordings.
Oh God, shit, we gonna shock your ass for 15 minutes instead of talking. That's way more fun than talking to a nigga.
Way more effective as well.
Yeah, on God, I guess. Yeah, on God, hey, he ain't crazy no more.
What we looking for?
Shit, you replace crazy for brain dead. Hey, if that's what you call a cure, it's a cure.
Insurance companies normally, or if that person pays out of pocket, you can only charge so much for that. But if you could sit down with the person for 15 minutes, hear them talk a little bit, and then give them a label, and then boom, charge them or their insurance, you can bring more people in a shorter amount of time and make a lot more money. Now, this is how they set this up. I'm not saying this is any of you, but this is how they set this system up. Let's continue. You now have something called ECT, right? ECT. For those of you who may not know, that is known as electroconvulsive therapy. It's a very nice way of saying electroshock. That's the original name for it. So let's go back. ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, is not a therapy per se, but it is a more modernized way of saying we're going to put electricity, like you see in this brain behind me. We're going to send electricity through your skull into your brain and throughout your body to clean up your mental problem. I want us to pause there for a second. Every scary movie that you've ever seen, any movies dealing with mental problems, any movies dealing with insane asylums, House on Haunted Hill, Shutter Island, different things like that, where people are locked up in insane asylums or mental health facilities or mental.
Oh God, though, bro, what happened to them bitches, though, boy? Them motherfuckers used to be useful. Man, we have a certain group of people who might need to be up in there. Can't say them, but you feel me? There's a little two group of people who need to be up in there. Man.
Wink and wink.
Oh God. So, but nah, for real though. Like I said, I remember I was watching Futurama. I remember they had a motherfucking like insane asylum, and they had all types of crazy shit up in that motherfucker. And they had
If y'all know what episode he talking about, then the joke is funny.
Man.
For those that know, they know.
Mental treatment facilities. This is how this stuff originated. So now you see ECT or electroshock comes into the picture, but where did that start? Because now this is a new breakthrough procedure, right? 1938. In Rome, Italy, you had two Italian psychiatrists who were looking at these men in slaughterhouses who were slaughtering pigs. And before they slaughtered the pigs, you know, pigs running around, you can't really catch them, especially if they're wet, they got mud on them, but you're trying to slaughter them, y'all, you know, at the slaughterhouses, those who eat pork, you're trying to slaughter them, but it's kind of hard to catch them. So they found a way to make it manageable. So they would put these two metal beams, long metal bars, and it would clamp it on the side of the pig's head and shock them with electricity to where the pig would fall over and just lie down and be much more manageable.
R.I.P. that pig. Nah, fuck manageable.
Damn.
Nigga, you brain dead the pig just so y'all can pretty much. Man, and said, all right, come on, let's eat it. Like, damn.
All right, he good. He good to go.
You gotta go like manageable. It's like, nah, that's a killer move. Complete.
Damn, it was catching bodies in the sake of experimentation.
Evil as shit, bro.
Pigs, cows, humans.
They ain't care, bro. They ain't care, bro.
I'm telling you.
So that they could slaughter them easier. They wouldn't be fighting back. They wouldn't be jumping around. They'd just be lying there because you just shocked them into a vegetative state.
They did it to a kitten, though. Oh, yeah. They see evil. It's like, y'all hurting kittens?
Bunnies.
Bunnies? Bro, that shit crazy.
Let me see a dog on here.
Man.
This is where ECT or electro.
I ain't gonna lie. They putting them niggas down. They putting them down with that ECT. That nigga went.
That nigga dropped.
Dropped. Ah, shit.
Like he got sniped or some shit.
That nigga dropped like he had a mixtape.
Bow.
Shock came from. It was a technique used to make pigs
like
easily able to be
Like
slaughtered. Hold that thought. You had in 1848, let's go back even further, a man by the name of Phineas Gage, who was a railway worker. A steel beam, due to an explosion, was blown through his skull. Although he survived, it rapidly changed his personality. Well, of course, if you have a big piece of steel going through your head, I'm sure that would change your personality. At least you get pissed off for a minute. You might get out of character, to say the least. But he had his entire personality shifted because the steel beam went through his skull and all the way through his brain. So he survived, and that was a case that was studied by Egas Moniz. Now, this man...
I actually heard about this in school, too. Yeah, the case study of Phineas. Like, bro, they had pictures of this nigga where this shit was literally flown up his head, and you could see that motherfucker. They looked at him from that day all the way until bro died.
I never heard this story before.
Oh, yeah, no, that was in, like, psychology class, like, college shit.
He changed. Maybe I can do the same thing, but I don't need to shove a damn metal beam through a person's head to accomplish said personality shift or change. I'll just do it chemically. Here we go again. So what did Mr. Egas Moniz do? Mr. Egas Moniz said, let's just start drilling into the skull of a human being. Open up their head real quick one time. And after we drill into their head, I'm going to spray or squirt alcohol directly into the brain.
Damn.
Like,
God damn. Nah, for real.
bro.
Cause what the fuck?
That nigga get near me with that shit, I'm hitting him with the... Bruh.
I'm confused as to what would make somebody even think to do that.
Stop it.
He's the one that should be getting experimented on.
Oh God, like, nigga, do it to yourself.
There's some sick shit in this nigga brain.
Why you try it on yourself first? Let's see how you felt.
Nah, he said it don't work like that.
It don't work like that, G.
Of this person until I feel that I've cleared up enough.
Nobel Prize.
I nigga won a Nobel Prize for that shit.
Yeah.
He won a Nobel Prize. That nigga shit, did it ever get revoked? Yo, they gave that nigga a prize.
Are you serious right now, bro? Like, are you serious right now? Stop it.
Nobel.
Get some help. Yeah, boy.
Boy, and
Got him. Got him.
got them niggas. How you gonna make a procedure that don't work and that hurt people?
It worked.
It hurt people though, but You got a Nobel Peace Prize for that shit? What piece did you bring?
It did what it's supposed to do. It works all right.
No, you're right. Hey, man, you're right. Shit, brain dead is the conclusion and not
That's damn near
the
what
pre-existing
he was going for.
symptom.
Yeah, he was going for some damage.
Oh God, he said, "Nigga, fucking clean slate. You got something wrong in your brain? Fucking clean slate that hoe."
Tissue in that will change their personality. What did Mr. Egosmanes call this? A lobotomy. You getting it now?
Oh, he actually did that shit. Oh shit, bro, actually did that shit to more. Oh my God, like the people. Yeah, like, cause imagine you pull up to the doctor, you see, bro, it's like.
Hell no. I see bro at the doctor, nigga. I'm running the opposite way.
Niggas pull you to that table, man. You know it's. You'll never be the same.
Dude at all. He's on some.
Boy, every nigga who got a lobotomy part was never the same.
He's on some crazy shit.
Again, be mindful. These are breakthrough procedures. This is science, people. Trust the science. This is science. So I'm going to drill into your head, and I'm going to pour alcohol into your brain to change your personality, because this is a breakthrough in the field of mental health. We are helping to cure people of mental disease and mental illness. Remember, they keep using the term mental illness. Illness denotes some type of bacteria, some type of virus, something that's causing or creating a reaction within the body. It's not mental illness. It may be a mental problem, maybe mental trauma. Sure, all of that is legit. But once they started to use the term illness, it's because they wanted to legitimize themselves into real scientists. And I'm not saying, again, for those of you who are psychiatrists, psychologists, therapists, this is the history of this field. And be mindful, again.
Man, I got a family member, so you feel me? How you think I'll be feeling? I'll be like, well, goddamn. I'm glad we've evolved to what we got now, but shit, in the day ones, in the early steps of this shit,
they was doing some sick medieval shit.
Bro, these niggas was freestyling on the track. Freestyling. I'm talking about they came to a blank canvas. They said, fuck it.
Fuck it. All right, shit.
Whatever goes, bro. Hey, look, bro. What we're
Have
gonna
you
do?
Thought about putting his head between two metal beams and shocking the fuck out of him?
Yeah, bro. Let's pour alcohol into his head, like, bro. Like, what makes you think that's a good idea, bro? Come on now,
come on, bro. Why wouldn't it be a good idea?
Man, come on,
bro.
Like, well, what doesn't alcohol make better?
Don't it sound lit?
Hey, back in that day, shit probably did.
Come on, man, open him up.
Crack the brain.
That Mr. Egosmanes, once he started to practice this thing called, evolved it even further into some of the most horrific brain hacking procedures. A man by the name of Walter J. Freeman. Walter.
You know what? This is the only one I could say that actually looks like a nice guy.
He about to have done some fucked up shit.
Oh
too.
God, but the rest of them look crazy.
Watch, he the one that experimented on some kids or some shit.
Oh boy, let's
J. Freeman. I want you to please remember this name. Walter J. Freeman. This crazy white man. And if you're white watching, you know what I'm talking about. This dude want to put chemicals into the person's brain by drilling into it. That's too much of a mess. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bypass all that. I'm just going to take nothing more than an ice pick, stick it right up into the orbital bone, right behind the top of your eye. Stick it right up to the top of the frontal lobe, and I'm going to scrape it back in.
Boy, that nigga was playing spaghetti noodles with your brain, bro. What the chopsticks? Nigga, chopstick ramen your brain, bro.
All right. That shit just
hurts. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I kind of feel that.
God damn.
Woo, boy. Ain't no way, bro.
Damn, right in your frontal lobe.
Boy, bro, brought you to the lobotomy table with the.
Yeah, he had bad intentions.
Man, like that nigga for real. Like.
Stop it. Get some help.
And they can't be from him.
Damn near everybody mentioned needs help. The psychiatric help that they trying to give others.
Oh God,
until I
hate that shit a bit.
That shit crazy.
I feel like I've damaged enough tissue to clean up a person's mental illness. That's another breakthrough procedure in science. Science! Trust the science.
One of our main goals when running a business is exposure.
Study these things. And you start to realize the foundation and the history of how sick the minds of people were to establish this, and how they literally played God with your brain and your entire body to try to say, this is what causes this person to be crazy. This is what causes them to be deranged. This is what causes them to be defiant. Remember, they said black people had a mental disease because they wanted to run away from slavery. We covered this in the first part of this episode.
Yeah, called Trapomania. Yes.
Because I wanted to run away from
enslavement. You had a mental disease. Bro, why would you want to run away from slavery, bro? You get 3 square meals a day. You got a job. All you gotta do is just get beat every now and then, bro. But why would you want to leave, bro? You gotta have a disease in your head. Was that
seriously something they said?
Yes, it was called Trapomania. Yeah. That was dead ass.
The fear of slavery.
No.
What's that called? Because that's what it is. Fuck what you running from.
Oh, God, bro. They said if your slave want to run away, you got to have a mental condition. And then, you know what the cure for it was?
Death.
No. You would beat the devil out of them. That's where whipping came from. They had to psychologically put it in these people's heads to whip slaves is okay because you're whipping the devil out of them. They made it a psychological condition that they put out there to the world. That, if your slave run away, he tripping. The only way to put him back right is to beat him.
Wow.
And that was psychology. That was psychology back then. These were psychologists back in the slave day who were saying this shit.
Episode series. They said we had Drapetomania, Samuel Cartwright. Black people are crazy because they want to run away from slavery. Remember, they said that black people had a disease.
Black people are crazy because they want to run away from slavery.
Black people had a disease for wanting to run away from their captors.
Yeah, like the meanest. Like
surprise, motherfucker.
Cause ain't no way, bro. Surprising, ain't it? Boy.
He's called nicritude, Benjamin Rush, which caused our skin to be dark. He also said that,
wow. A disease.
Which I said was a mild form of leprosy. Wow. The only cure of which was to become white. And at this point, they would skin you alive to show your white meat.
Wow. Oh, that's
yeah.
Wow.
Yes, Kenan. That's what they were doing to niggas back then. They said nigritude.
And niggas think we got it bad now.
Oh, God, though. It's like, boy, back in the day, they try to, like, make it make sense.
Take your skin off.
Bro, imagine that. They were trying to make sense of the racism. Like, the math ain't mathing. And the math never math until they just dropped racism. It was like, okay, man. No, but this was a real racist. I ain't gonna lie. He said the white man's superior.
A racist by definition.
Yeah, he said these niggas have a mental disease. The only way to get rid of it is to become white. And I'm just like, so there's no such thing as just race, I guess. I'm not sure. It was like crazy. He was like, we were the master race. So I guess at that point in his mind that, what you mean?
Anything else was literally subhuman.
Nah, anything else could just be broken down back into them. Yeah, I mean, when you start tearing off skin, you start realizing that even when it grew back kind of black. It was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, motherfuckers is just damned.
Yeah, pretty much. Y'all just damned. Mike.
Insanity comes from having too much blood on the brain. Wow, these are geniuses. I can't believe it. Insanity because I have too much blood on the brain. How much is too? Bloodletting. He also was known as the master bleeder. He was one of those people who helped to inspire the segregation movement because he believed that black people were diseased and therefore cannot be around white folks because we would cause people to get sick. So therefore, colored only here. Don't drink water with them.
He made the racism make sense.
That's how you had to do it.
Nobody ever went like, why are white people like this? How could they even do this? I'm like, bro, they had their top scientists, their top mentalists, top psychiatrists pretty much tell these niggas like, bro, look, they have nigritude. There ain't no helping these motherfuckers. And then
think about how easy it is nowadays to get y'all to follow a narrative when a worldwide accident happens and they mandate certain things, and y'all really don't ask too many questions. Y'all just go along with the flow.
Yep. Case in point, they were doing the same thing back then. They had to make the racism make sense.
I guess they 6.
No,
Fuck.
No, God, what can you do, man? They
gotta beat the sickness out.
That's why they be like, boy, like you stay away from us and all that good stuff. Because
beat the sickness out them.
Their scientists said, yeah, they're you know, you can get a disease from these niggas. Like we carry diseases and shit. It was crazy.
Pathology. Oh my God, you'll get sick. Don't eat with them. Don't go to the restroom with them. You damn sure don't want to have sex or have children with them.
They made the segregation make sense.
Makes sense now? So they reduced it to pathology, a pathological circumstance. This is so-called science. This is why it's very difficult for us to listen to these institutions because...
I hope you're catching this as a youngin' before you go in to get your psychology degree. You might want to rethink a couple things here.
Mr. Walter J. Freeman in his lobotomobile. This man traveled the country and he would get referrals from doctors, local doctors and physicians to literally lie a person on a table like this, get a tool that was like an ice pick and put it into the person's orbital bone right behind the eye socket, go all the way up and just scrape back and forth. Again, no anesthesia, many times.
No anesthesia? So you feel that shit raw pain? That's crazy. Raw pain. He made them niggas just like, yeah, you gonna have no anesthesia? Nah, bro, you gonna take this shit take it to the chin, boy. Be a man. I hope that's what he told him before he did that bullshit, cause
no anesthesia. I'm gonna say this again. It kind of brings you back to J. Marion Sims, I believe, the so-called father of gynecology who used to test his methods on black women, right? Whoa. Science.
Whoa. He touched the women? He touched not the black women. Hold on. The father of gynecology. Crazy. Was testing out methods on black women. Let's hear this.
Well, they can take it. They have, they don't have much of a pain receptor, so they can take it. They can take a lot of pain.
Boy. Them niggas is fucked up. Ah, man, they fucked up. Ah, shit. So pretty much because they black women, they don't feel pain like that. Like, they don't feel pain like normal people do. So do whatever you want to them. They're pain resilient. Like, god damn. Talk about the strong black woman. For real, they just think y'all was painless. Like, y'all couldn't even experience it.
He would do this up until the point where the last patient he had died on the table. Go figure. Between the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And you know what? Let me pause that. He supervised over 3,500 of these procedures. He either conducted the majority or supervised some. And all of this happened, and he even admitted that at least 25% of all of his patients were left in a vegetative state.
Brain dead. These niggas is reckless. He even admitted, like, oh, I'm winging it. It's like, bro, look. Some make it, some don't, some end up like a vegetable, and some, just don't ever be the same again. It works, though. It works. That's crazy. Crazy.
Of course, you're causing a person to...
Did he get a Nobel Prize, too?
...be a vegetable by scraping parts of their brain. And then roughly after this, 40s go by, 50s go by, 60s go by. Then they came out and admitted, the American Psychiatric Association admitted that this was a damaging procedure. Okay, fine. All right, so we're going to toss that in the trash now, right? So the other method didn't work.
I'm done. So they finally came out and said, yeah, this ain't it, guys. And just toss it away.
Toss that in the trash. Psychosurgery doesn't work. Toss that in the trash. You know what? Don't worry about all those millions of people we've damaged for their lives permanently damaged. Let's
type shit. I'm like, y'all want to write nobody a check first? So don't you think y'all owe a couple $1 billion to some families and shit? Some people's lives that y'all changed forever. Like, come on now. Like, let's keep it a buck. Like, y'all niggas is twisted.
Let's just move forward. Let's move on to the next method and see if this works. They were running trials on people. This is all they've done. Trial and error, and they call it.
Yeah, there was no treatments. No treatments, no cures, trials. It's experimentations. Hey, mad scientist shit. What can you do? And the government telling you that it's cool.
Science. Okay, let's continue. By the way, I'm going to have to do a part 3 because it gets deeper than this. It's like, reason, how can this get deeper? I know. Let's continue. So we're looking at.
Nah, for real though, how?
At this point here, after you look at Mr. Walter J. Freeman, can y'all guess what we're going to point out next? Can you guess what we're going to point out next? You do know not only did they admit that it was a damaging treatment, they then turned around and still supported the treatment, saying, but still it was a breakthrough in science. It's kind of like with the shots, people take shots. Oh, we killed 1 million, but hey, we saved a couple 100,000. It's a sick lack of accountability, because if they take accountability, then that means they can be sued. And if they can be sued, then that means there's a lot of people who can sue, and therefore they more than likely will go bankrupt.
That's facts. That's facts. So pharmaceutical companies could not take that L. And the economy with them, I guess they couldn't take that L either. You know, we're going to have to go more into these pharmaceutical companies when we do that review of Candace Owens and shit. And her Shot in the Dark documentary. Shout out to Candace for that.
Pharmaceutical companies are very slick with this. But let's go ahead and move on to the next point. So after this whole lobotomy circumstance kind of put another stain on the already dirtied image of psychiatry in the field of mental health, they kind of reversed and brought electroshock back into the picture. Now think about this. It comes back with anesthesia, because many times back then the old way of practicing electroshock was without anesthesia. They would shock this person. And I'm talking between 50 and up to 400 volts of electricity.
Bro, 50, that hurts. That's like annoying. 400, ow. You like, bro, niggas damn near passing out.
Going through a person's head. Now, what level of electricity are we dealing with here? This is the kind of electricity you see with commercial-sized printing presses, steel mills, large machinery. That's the kind of electricity that is required for these machines. And that's the kind of electricity, the level, the voltage, the high amount that is going through a person's brain. So when they would shock these people, they did not have anesthesia. And once that happened, these people's bodies, spines would break, teeth would come right out, because it's. And that's the kind of electricity, the level, the voltage, the high amount that is going through a person's brain. So when they would shock these people, they did not have anesthesia. And once that happened, these people's bodies, spines would.
Stone Man. I'm fucking dead. This dude right here got bad. If everybody, you could tell, ain't no way. Jaw lock, body lock, legs lock, ain't no way.
Break, teeth will come right out, because it's snapping a person's body. And if you look at old black and white footage of these mental hospitals, how they were doing this to people, it's like, how could you do such a thing? And they would justify it all in the name of science.
God damn, now they had oh man, now they had the nurses doing, how a beautiful nurse gonna pull up on you and start putting stuff in your mouth and saying, all right, get ready for shock therapy. I'm like, nigga, what? Like no. Like every day I wake up and like, what twisted shit y'all got next, bro?
So they bring it back now. They're using anesthesia, which means a person's body is not shaking like it would before, because the muscles are relaxed. It doesn't look as bad, and so therefore it gives the image that it's progressed. Now it's evolved. It's better. They've gotten out the kinks. You know what I'm saying? It's all good now. No, it just looks better. It's a cosmetic thing. It just looks good. It's like the term where they say putting lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig. It's still ugly. It's full of worms. It is not good for you. It's still a damn pig. So they bring it back. Not only does it produce that much wattage, but think about this. 2/3 of those who receive electroshock, but they call it ECT, are women. Reason why do they give it to women more than anybody else? Well, let's see here. They say,
well, because, man, you know, these girls be mostly having mental problems. Back in the day, though.
Facts.
You have any one of these things normally when you go and get your electroshock normally. Premenstrual syndrome, postpartum depression, menopausal disorder. So you
This basic female shit. This basic female shit, pretty much.
You qualify, and there are other so-called labels. These different labels qualify you to be given electroshock as an option, or what they call again.
Back in the day for women.
Bro, pretty much he's saying that, you know how women have postpartum depression.
Yeah, after pregnancy.
They pretty much tell them, suck that shit up, or we're gonna shock your ass. And that's what they do. They shock women who had these, like, or who was going through these little menopause outbursts. Know how the hormones get, when some women get crazy during menopause. Yeah. Shock for that. You'll get shot for postpartum depression. You're gonna get shot for menstrual, like, you can get shot for period outbursts. Like, you just get mad on your period.
They wasn't playing with nobody.
Putting bitches in the shock. So I can imagine why women were so well behaved back then. They were like, look, Nick, bitch, you better chill the fuck out. You better not let your husband see. Boy, take you to die. Your ass gonna get zip, zip.
You knew better than to act out damn near.
Oh God, man, you knew better, boy. There was too many uses. Besides your husband's backhand, there was also the doctor you could take you to, like
you wouldn't even scared of the backhand. You might get your brain.
Like all my wife do is bleed and yell, and he's like, "Oh yeah, don't worry, we got something for her."
I got you. I got you, big dog. Bring her in on Tuesday.
Oh God, bitch, never come.
No logical reason to do such a thing at all. There is no science in this at all. As a matter of fact, on PubMed, they even admit that this causes more problems with your menstrual cycle. So now,
damn. So not shock them. You bring your wife in because she's bitching on her menstrual. They shock her, and then she come back acting more bitchy. Then she come back probably on some homicidal bullshit. Pretty much what they was doing.
She come back a vegetable, nigga. That's what it sound like.
Nah, is either she come back a vegetable or come back even more crazy.
now they admit it. But back then, hey, it's all good. Tell the woman to shut up. Here, put some electricity through her brain. Shut her up. This is old crazy white men now who did not care for their own women, let alone out of those who are given electroshock, or what they call ECT, are elders. Why elders, Reza? You mean the elders who they already have these different issues? They already have Alzheimer's.
Damn, not they shocking granny and granddad. Told you, bro, these niggas was touching everybody they can for an experiment. Like, bro, they ain't care. You use a vulnerable class of people.
They
You don't get
stretched far and wide for experiments as test subjects.
They didn't give a fuck. Like, bro, like people who want to sign up, bro. Like,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
like, nah, bro. We need niggas today. Now everybody got
Emotional damage.
God.
Their brains are already not working as well as they used to. They can't walk as good. Health problems. They're getting into old age. Why would they put electricity through their brain? Let me mention this to you. They say they have all these different disorders and mental problems, right? Our elders. This is why you have to be very careful about sending your elders to these homes and these institutions. Once they get up to the age where they qualify for government insurance.
See, all health insurance companies cover ECT treatment. Oh, wow. Including Medicare. Performed at a highly regarded university or research medical center, including Harvard, Yale. Yo, so now your told the cheapest, the basic health care could get you that shit, and then they're gonna put you in like one of them Ivy League institution to get your brain fried, just to make you feel comfortable before you got your brain fried. I'm pulling up, baby. We're going to Harvard. Like, come on.
Doing this procedure?
Nah, this like I said, this is back in like the 40s and 50s.
Okay,
Oh God, because in part one we started all the way back from like 1800s.
Brain damage.
And then
it's a misconception according to Google.
Mm-hmm.
the majority of those who are given electroshock increases by the number of those who qualify for the government insurance. So therefore, once they qualify for that, they are complete. I'm talking about suggested quickly. You know what? They should do some ECT. That'll help them. Some ECT will help them because now the insurance pays for that. And the money is major.
Low key though. Like, yeah, put him ECT. Give him ECT. Like, just that insurance money, boy.
Again, this is not science, but it was based in the total insanity and really torture of human beings, and now it comes out as science.
Are you a thinker, an intellectual, or having the equipment to stay? Join intellect.
This procedure. Yeah. You see how you're boiling right now? If you haven't already gotten pissed off, or if you're not in $0.2 billion a year, they even give pregnant women.
Found out electroshock during pregnancy can cause brain damage to the fetus. So in 2007, they were still doing dumb shit, basically.
That's crazy.
Crazy enough.
This procedure. Yeah. You see how you're boiling right now? If you haven't already gotten pissed off, or if you're not in sheer disbelief. Yeah. It's a very sick thing that we're dealing with. And because it's become normalized, people think, oh, it's just science. Oh, it's just regular. No, you've been programmed heavily. That's why you see in virtually every one of the damn scary movies that you watch, some form of psychotropic drug is mentioned. Always. Right now, after you finish watching this, when you start watching movies, you're going to notice the psychiatric label come out. Somebody's going to mention, oh, I'm dyslexic, blah, blah, blah. You're going to see the orange pill bottle. You're going to start seeing them say, oh, in order for me to survive, I have to take this pill, psychotropic drug. All these scary movies, they do it, especially Freddy Krueger movies. The only way that he could stay awake or stay alive is if he took this psychotropic drug. So what does that communicate to you psychologically, watching it through the screen? In order to stay alive, I have to take that drug. It's what they do. It's what they do. It's a very
the mind control. So it's like you see it in the movies, you're okay with it in real life. It's like you don't question the pills in the movie. Like, all right, cool, yeah, you take the pills they work from in the movie. Well, whatever the doctor tells me what these pills are for should also work.
Yeah.
Crazy. Set your ass up for the yeet. Man.
very wicked way of programming. So people walking around thinking, hey man, it's normal. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't got no degree. You're not a psychologist. Do you know the majority of people who are some of the craziest on the planet happen to be the people who specialize in how the mind works? You know how many psychiatrists have been convicted of rape and molestation? You know how many psychiatrists have been convicted of fraud, drug trafficking?
Excuse me? Like, and what the fuck going on? Ain't no way these niggas. No, bro, you tripping. Ain't no way you just drop the bomb like that.
People who are some of the craziest on the planet happen to be the people who specialize in how the mind works. You know how many psychiatrists have been convicted of rape and molestation? You know how many...
Stop it. Dr. Alan Hortowitz, convicted psychiatrist. Child molestation. Oh my God. Convicted psychologist. Convicted psychologist. One's a child molester, the other's a sexual assault, sexual abuse. These niggas don't give a fuck, bro. What the fuck, bro? No, ain't no way, bro. So these niggas like therapist on fuck shit.
How many psychiatrists have been convicted of fraud, drug trafficking?
This nigga looked like he was on bullshit. Transporting child porn. Whoa. Child porn. Possession of a weapon. Sexual. I can't even read that one.
trafficking, sex trafficking, organ trafficking. You know how many psychiatrists?
Organ trafficking? Hey, yo, these niggas on bullshit. For real, for real. Let's see. Indecent assault, fraud, admitting a harsh substance. Damn. These niggas. Okay, this nigga looks crazy. I'm sorry. Whoever brought your kid to this nigga or whoever went to this guy, bro, I know you walked in with that, like. Cause ain't no way, bro. That nigga looks scary as hell. That nigga face give nightmares.
Just have been convicted of this nonsense of torture. All the list is insane. Child pornography. It's crazy. And these are the people who we have to trust with our minds. I just want to help us to get this understanding when we discuss the field of mental health so that we can understand what the history is, the foundation of this thing. That way you can thoroughly understand it better and get back to actually communicating with each other and working on our health and our nutrition and looking at what goes on in our families and really address problems and causes, not reactions. We are almost done. We are almost done. Here's the part where it gets very interesting. Well, Reza, what about the drugs? I'm on this drug, I'm on that drug. Well, I'm not going to tell you to take or not take. I definitely will encourage you, of course, up front, to not necessarily take drugs because that's not going to solve the problem. If you're on them, get with the nutritionist, get with your counselor, get with your doctor, and find a way to replace it with proper nutrition. Vitamins, minerals, exercise, etc., talk therapy, water therapy, tons of different other solutions that you can utilize, which actually will help you. But the drugs are not the solution. Reason, prove that. Why should we even listen to this part? In the 1950s, they came out with something that they referred to as the chemical lobotomy. Chemical lobotomy. So after Egas Moniz drilled
God damn, bro. So the first lobotomy wasn't bad enough, but now you had to come with one, a chemical one?
into your brain. And after Walter J. Freeman starts scraping up the tissue of the frontal lobe, and after they go through all these processes of finding out that, maybe that doesn't work best, they came out with a chemical way of doing it. And this drug, because the drugs became their top money-making solution to science and mental problems. The drug is called Thorazine. Y'all see it right here on the screen. Thorazine. It became their magic bullet. Boy, this right here is where you kind of start getting irritated, because they said this is just like psychosurgery. I'm going to quote Heinz Lehman, a Canadian psychiatrist. He said it's a chemical lobotomy, just like psychosurgery without the mess.
Hey, man. Ain't no way, bro. These niggas.
Oh my God, who? Oh my God, who?
Oh my God. Ain't no way, bro. These niggas got it, man. And they got it.
Does the same thing. You just don't see how bad the damage really is, but it does the same thing. Half the time, real quick, take a pill. Does the same thing to the frontal lobe, damaging the brain. Hey, science. Let's continue. That was in.
Hey, that's some impressive science, though. They got manual destruction in your brain to chemical destruction. Okay. I see the upgrade. I see that's an upgrade. That's an upgrade.
1948. I'm going to quote someone here. Dr. Winfred Overholzer, the former president of the American Psychiatric Association between 1947 and 1948, said, quote, he said, the new tranquilizing drugs are ushering in a new era in our progress in the field of mental health, end quote. New tranquilizing drugs are ushering in a new era. Because everything they did before was crazy as hell. It took a lot of time. It took a lot of energy. It was disgusting. It was blatant. People saw the damage. It made no sense. It didn't work. Now they found a way to be covertly evil and damaging by using drugs and chemistry in a way where it looked like there was more progress. And interestingly enough, when I looked at this, The drug Thorazine. If anyone knows about Thorazine, if any of you have elders, because they mainly targeted our elders when it came to the drug Thorazine, there is a effect, not side effect, but a direct effect called tardive dyskinesia, where you have the muscle movements, uncontrollable muscle movements. A lot of us know people on the street, people we grew up with, people we saw, our elders, who have these uncontrollable muscle movements. They're not just from those who did PCP or, crack, more progress.
Look like your local crackhead kind of thing. God damn.
And interestingly enough, when I looked at this,
Local crackhead.
the drug Thorazine, if anyone knows about Thorazine, if any of you have elders, because they mainly targeted our elders when it came to the drug Thorazine, there is a effect, not side effect, but a direct effect called tardive dyskinesia, where you have.
That's tough. Yeah. Got niggas looking like crackheads.
The muscle movements, uncontrollable muscle movements. A lot of us know people on the street, people we grew up with, people we saw, our elders, who have these uncontrollable muscle movements. They're not just from those who did PCP or, crack or heroin, any of these other kind of drugs that we knew that those were drugs that were doing bad, boom, boom, boom. But a drug that is legal, that was offered and suggested, and that psychiatrists were putting people on, prescribing people. Thorazine was causing this issue. That's brain damage. Sometimes it would last for a long period of time, or it would become permanent. The producer of Thorazine, SmithKline French, do you know that they made a 500% return on their initial investment, making upwards of over $647 million? Damn.
Cashed in, boy. Money in the bank, baby.
Yeah, boy.
They ain't give a fuck. They got their ends.
That was a good investment.
Great.
Not like FTX and that Bitcoin situation with that scandal and Enron, but I digress. That was a large investment, and they made, a large return on the investment, making a lot of money off of a brain damaging chemical that they called a breakthrough or a magic bullet in science. The 1970s, by the way, roughly 20 years later, they would then come out and admit that these side effects were real. Tardive dyskinesia is directly connected to Thorazine, and that it is a problem. Again, they come out with the so-called breakthrough. It damages a lot of people, potentially kills a lot of people. They act like,
God damn, yeah, you're right. They act like they do not give no fucks. Fucking up niggas naming the name of science and this bread too, cause who went on over 600 million, man. I'm not sure I can live with that conscience of motherfuckers being overly fucked up for the rest of their life just for me to make 600 mil. That ain't me, but hey, man, if you can go ahead and do it, yeah, grimy motherfucker, but at least you're rich.
like it never happened. They said it's just a part of the process, or that was a side effect of what the person was already doing outside of our care. And a couple years go by, maybe a decade or two, and they say, you know what? It was our fault. It was what we were doing, but we're not really worried about that. We're going to go into another breakthrough. We just found out here's another breakthrough, guys. Come on. Let's go look at this one. And I'm almost done with this part because it's just too much. I'm going to have to do a part 3 on this. I know, y'all. I know. I feel bad too. You know what? You can actually support us right here. Go ahead and give us some support because this is a lot of research that we're doing. Go ahead, send in that right there for support. Also, if you would like to become when it comes to them trying to control the minds of the people or scientific circumstances or Bill Gates and, you know, and the Sith and him joining up with Lord Voldemort and all the other evildoers and Klaus Schwab and all of these crazy folks. We hear about all these meetings. Well, this meeting took place in 1967 in San Juan, Puerto Rico, where psychiatrists met up in Puerto Rico to usher in this new craze, this new trend of, hey, drugs, man. Like, wait a minute, we never thought about this. We could use drugs instead of surgery, drugs instead of actual therapy, drugs instead of talking to people, drugs instead of actually addressing.
And work with the pharmaceutical company, collect that bag. Like, man, raking it the fuck in, bro. And did they care about the patients?
No.
They care about the lives that might hurt?
No.
But did they get rich?
Yeah, boy.
Yes, they did.
Togley, that's a male. Nathan Klein, remember his name. Oscar Resnick, Wayne Evans, Heinz Lehman, and others. I'm going to quote a one Nathan Klein here. And these were his final thoughts at the end of that meeting in Puerto Rico in 1967. Quote, "The present breadth money of drug use may be almost trivial when comparing it to the possible number of chemical substances that will be available for the control of selective aspects of man's life in the year 2000. End quote. What did he just say? He like, the amount of money we making right now ain't nothing compared to what we about to get into. We about to go get the bag. Y'all hear me?
Weak as fuck. He pretty much just said it straight out. He said, man, look, this small shit. That 600 mil, boy, small shit to what we about to pull now.
We thought we was getting something with this. Yo, the drug game is where it's at. The drug game is where, yo, we need to go get after this, and quickly, because we can make a lot of money in a short.
Boy, peep sauce. Them niggas was like, bro, you get them drug games, bro. Boy, psychology and drugs, man.
Yeah, boy.
Getting in all that money, boy. And now, boy, can't even stop them now. They got what they wanted on that.
Short period of time with least low minimal effort at all, and we'll be able to get off scot-free because all we need to say is that the person is crazy.
Boy.
The number one field that I would say has the most corruption with the least amount of real oversight to check is the field of psychiatry and mental health. Why? Because you can blame your client for everything, including what you do to them. You just have to say, they're crazy.
Bro, he moved a little too much to the left, man. Fucked up the lobotomy. You know, I didn't scrape the right part of the brain. Like, bro, he moved. Like, what the fuck? What do you want him to do? He crazy. That's what crazy people do. They do things they're not supposed to do.
It's their mental illness. It's their mental problem. That's why they did that. That's why they have burns on their arms. That's why they're saying I forced myself on them when she was in my office. I didn't do anything to her. It's as a result of her mental illness. She's just crazy. That's why a lot of women can't stand when men just call them crazy when they legit is calling out your crap, or vice versa. When the man is legitimately calling out the woman's crap, the woman's calling out the man's crap. And you just you're just crazy, because that's what psychiatrists did. It came from the culture of the field of mental health. Just calling a person crazy will relieve you of all responsibility.
The gaslighting, the supreme gaslighting, like.
Stop it. Get some help.
Like, boy, hit him with another one, though, for real. The gaslighting techniques. You gotta love it.
You could sit back and the world would just look at them like they are the problem, even when they never were. Just wanted to bring this out so that everyone can look at the fact that the field of mental health, and I'm going to do a part 3 because I have to go into the drug side of this. I have to go into the amount of money. How many drugs? How many people are on these drugs on average? Do you know that over half of Americans are on one or more forms of psychotropic drugs? The common side effects of these drugs, of which are
here. Xanax, yeah, that's the motherfucker that be grabbing this shit, man. Xanax is not it. Valium makes you feel like you're stupid. Boy, when I got shot, they gave me some Valium, bro. I felt like I was retarded. Like, that shit was actually torture. I don't know about the rest of these, but let's see here. Prozac, I heard Prozac, some bull. Zoloft. Yeah, I heard if you take that and you do anything like drinking, yeah, so jump off a roof. And that's about it. Damn. Oh, they're on 10 most prescribed psychedelic drug in the U.S., bro, by the millions. Oh, yeah, they got niggas with Xanax. I kind of knew Xanax, of course. Okay, I'm glad, because Valium is actually a little too much. And that's Zoloft, yeah. Yeah, they grabbing niggas. They got it.
Headaches, foggy memories, suicidal thoughts, homicidal tendencies, increases of depression. These are common effects of these drugs. Drugs like Wellbutrin. Do you know that there are over 100 million people in America that are on one or more forms of psychotropic drugs? Drugs like Adderall, Wellbutrin, Valium, Zyprexa, Zymbalta, you name it. Some of you may be on one or more what I already just mentioned. You're like, damn, you calling me out.
Yeah, bro, you might want to drop that shit and figure something else out, bro. Maybe it's a little physical matter. You need to eat better and shit, bro. Like nuts, berries, and fruits and shit, and then working out or something, because ain't no goddamn way. I don't know. Start working out in nature and like find therapy in that. Because the therapy in these drugs, man, there's no mental salvation there.
Doesn't mean you're crazy. Doesn't mean you are deranged. No, people got issues. Let's not get this twisted. People have issues. But we have to resolve our issues in a way where we're not clouding the problem, covering it up with a Band-Aid. But we're actually addressing the root, the cause of it, and not benefiting a system that genuinely does not want us to get better. And I'm not saying every person that works within it. No, the system itself, because I guarantee most psychiatrists, psychologists, and therapists do not know the history of the field that they are in. Most. Some do, but most do not. I'm going to mention a notable psychiatrist who did know her field. And this is our sister, the late, great Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. Make sure you get this book, The ISIS Papers. No, I'm not getting paid for endorsing the book. I don't need to. It's a book. Get it. And it just so happens to be from one of our...
Oh, God, niggas read, bruh. If you don't read anything, read some facts.
Greatest minds. Our sister, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, who passed. May Allah be pleased with our sister. She was one of the coldest psychiatrists. She did not necessarily advocate the drugging, but she did go to the core of what is known as the system of white supremacy. And she looked at how Caucasian white males dominate the world because they themselves are in fear of what is called genetic annihilation. And so they do everything in every area of life to maintain control so that the people don't take over.
Hey, you can't say that though, man. Your ass gonna get took the fuck down.
Control because they think that the people are going to do something to attack them when that's not necessarily the reality, but that is a fear, is what she has said. It's a psychological problem that they have. So she used to debate psychologists, psychiatrists. You should also watch the debate between her and William Shockley. I mentioned this in part 1 of this episode. All over the damn show, just whooping this dude. Whoop, 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 whoop. With real science, real knowledge, going to the core of a person's traumatic issues and looking at that from a cause perspective. So again, I think we should start to look at our mental health and our mental problems and trauma that we may have and really address them. Go to the cause of it. Go to really what's happening. Because if we don't do that, then we're going to look at the effects of things and then look at covering up the effects. Because as soon as you go in for therapy, most of the time, it's drug. But sometimes you have a good therapist who just doesn't do that. And they go to the cause and let's talk about this. And if you go to a nutritionist, they'll, kind of point out the fact that the majority of us in America and the world, but mostly America, are malnourished. Do you know what the psychological effects are on a person who has low levels of vitamin D? Do you know what the
Young guy, bro, get you some sun, bro. Go out there and get you that vitamin D and eat some avocados, bro. That shit is terrible, my nigga. You ain't gonna be to your best. You can never operate at 100% as a black man without all your vitamin D. All right.
Psychological effects are on a person who has low levels of iron or overall minerals. If your immune system is compromised and weakened, how does that affect you mentally? If you don't have the right balance of vitamins, minerals, herbs within the body, how is that manipulating and affecting your chemistry, then your thoughts, and then how you operate? Because food can affect your mood. So chemistry can affect how a person behaves, which means, we have to look at the right foods to eat. We have to exercise. You have to get those toxins out of the body. All these different things go into mental health. It all goes into it. So I think we should go more into addressing the causes of these problems. And that way, we should be able to see less suicides, less homicides, because a lot of our people are dealing with trauma. It's trauma, it's problems, it's financial issues, it's family issues. There's so much going on, and we're not addressing the causes. We have to look at the causes and therefore not just drug people to death, because that's really where it's leading. So I think that'll be it for this episode.